Well, after the most uninspiring transfer window in the history of Football Manager, we now start our second season in the Championship with a starting 11 who were all at the club last year. It's going to be a long season. Hello and welcome to part 91 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first two games of the new Championship season. We're away against Reading and at home against Derby. If you did miss the transfer special that came out over the weekend, this was it. We've sold £110,000 worth of players, brought in a load of free transfers and loans, and none of them have really improved the team. We're gambling on this lot being good enough to finish mid-table again, and the youngsters we've brought in getting good enough as the season goes on to let's have a late season push. That's the thought process. I've gone back and rationalised the transfer window we've just done and decided in my head that it was all tactical and deliberate. We'll see how it pans out. But this is the team that we're playing for the first game of the new season. I said I wanted to fix the midfield. I've changed literally nothing about it. It's the same four players playing in the same four roles. We'll be fine. So we've got Humphreys in goal, a back four of Wearmouth, Rogers, Wright and Gregson, with Harrison at the base of the midfield, Fernandez and Sawinski in front of him, Moss in behind Matondo and Harris. I've been quite negative at the end of the last episode, done a fairly negative start to this episode. Let's remember some of the positives. 40 plus goal Championship level strike partnership, who finished second and third in the top scorers last year. An even better player playing behind them, setting the chances up. A homegrown midfield that have still got room to grow. An England under 21 international defensive midfielder. The two best players at the club as both centre-backs, and they're both great. Our two wing-backs were Championship Player of the Year and runner-up for Championship Player of the Year last season. We've got a decent goalkeeper who we turned down a £300,000 offer for in the summer, and an even better one on the bench. And having an even better one on the bench, potential-wise, is what we've got all the way through. These are all players with potential, to, apart from that one, to be better than their counterparts by Christmas. There are a lot of reasons to be positive. We just need to make sure we don't get off to a bad start, and that's what I'm worried about. So let's get into the match and get an idea of what kind of season we're in for. I don't know how good Reading are. I don't remember playing Reading last season, which does worry me a little bit, because it makes me think they might have just been relegated from the Premier League. Add that to the fact they're playing three strikers, which always ruins us, because we play two defenders with these two basically playing as wingers either side of Moss, and we worry a little bit. Apparently we expected, perhaps they didn't get relegated. We must have played them last year, because we don't seem to be afraid of them. Go out there and give you... I don't know what to say. It's the first game of the new season. We're away from home. I expect to lose, but all those options were fairly positive ones, so perhaps we're better than Reading. Does anyone remember where Reading finished last year? I know we could check. There's hardly anybody here. There's less fans here than come to the Serenec Nuhu Stadium. This is ridiculous. I realise there's more here, but they've got more empty seats than we ever have. Oh, I thought Matondo was in there, but the clearance from the keeper went over him, whereas I thought it was going straight into him. What a challenge there from Wright. That was ridiculous. We turned down an offer for Wright in the summer as well. A couple of offers for Wright, actually. We could have fetched £500,000 plus for Wright in the summer, but decided to keep hold of him just as well, because we couldn't find another defender. And with 1 minute on the clock, Anthony Harris has started this season where he left off last season. First goal of the campaign, hopefully first of many. It would be lovely to have a 30-goal season from Harris in the Championship. I think we'll be knighting him as well then if he does that. But a minute on the clock. It's Reading 0, home 1. Perhaps we're going up as bleeping champions. Look, we're top of the league. End the season there. Harrison with the free kick, and it's Harris again on the end of it, and it goes just over. Well, we've had a reasonably positive start to that match. First 10 minutes of the season, we've had all the possession. We've had 7 shots already. We're playing really rather well. Sawinski from range, and it goes just over. The Reading fans are just sat there silently behind the goal. They don't understand what's going on. They look a bit shell-shocked, but they're now fired up by the feedback from their manager, which means we're going to give it 5 minutes, and then we'll perhaps just drop our first 10 minutes of passion of the season on them. But Humphreys, look at that. He knows he's got competition for keeper now. Poor old Civita now doesn't even get to sit on the bench, but Watson is going to be our keeper for the next 3 or 4 years. but we've just won a penalty, so let's not worry about our goalkeeper situation. Matondo with the chance to open his account for the season from the penalty spot. Can he? He does put us 2-0 up. Reading 0, Home 2, 26 minutes on the clock. They got 41 championship goals between them last year. They've already got 2 between them this year, 26 minutes into the new season. One of them, surely, you've got to be looking for one of them to finish championship top scorer this season. Matondo, I think, is 4th favourite, according to the media. Harris wasn't in the favourites list, which is a little bit harsh, considering he scored more goals than Matondo last year in the end. But I guess Matondo is the youngster with potential who should be even better this year, whereas Harris is 26 now, I think, and not expected to get any better. We're going to pretend that didn't happen because it spoils the narrative of the episode a little bit. We were supposed to start negatively and then have 2 dominant wins, not let Reading back into the game. This isn't how it was supposed to go. Humphreys not really making any effort to make the save either, which, need I remind you again that we've got Watson on the bench, so he can't do too much of that. Wearmouth now with the cross. It falls to Sawinski, and again, he's hit one just over and now one just wide. Sawinski really needs to get his shooting goggles on and get a little bit more accurate. I wanted to do 10 minutes of passion. I've left it too late now. There's no point at this stage, but it's 2-2. Oh, we've really let him back into the game there. Goodness me, that was really poor defending as well. Was that Fernandez who's at fault there? Is this Lyric Fernandez? No, it's Harrison. Rogers. Is Fernandez here? I know Fernandez. Ah, there you go. There's Fernandez. I knew he was involved somewhere. Oh, that was just poor all round. And there's Fernandez just chasing around like a lunatic now, trying to make up for it. Gregson plays it back to Humphreys, and we're going to have words at half-time, I think. This has been a good start that's turned to turd very quickly. Gregson now, cross comes over, Matondo's there, and Matondo has made it 3-2 again, just on the stroke of half-time. It's an instant reply to their reply. Matondo's second of the season, second of the game, and the best strike partnership in the history of Home Football Club. There you go, I've said it. This is the best partnership we've ever had. 3 goals between them already. If they go at 3 goals a game all season, they're going to get like 140-something goals. That'd be lovely. I could get on board with that. Right. I might be winning. Yeah. We're winning kind of by default because Reading don't seem very good. But our defence has been awful. Look at the state of how we've dominated this game. We've let them have 2 shots. 3 shots on target and they've scored 2 of them. Fernandez, it's pinballing around, falls to Fernandez again, and there's his first goal of the season. Absolutely stupendous, according to the commentary along the bottom of the screen. I don't think it was quite that good, but it does make amends for him gifting them a goal towards the end of the first half. The first shot looked more dangerous than the second, bounced around, and then the second one was a relatively simple tap in from, 15 yards out, 18 yards out? Easy peasy. Probably not even that far. How far away is the penalty spot? 12 yards, is it? He was just behind the penalty spot, wasn't he? Right. It's not the last day of the season. He's never going to score a free kick. And he proved me correct. Almost went for the obvious pun of him proving me right, but decided against doing it and then told you about it, thus making myself look like an idiot. Anyway, Harrison with the corner. Harris nods it down to Fernandez, who can't quite apply the finish. Gregson nods it forward to Sawinski. Sawinski's had a bit of a quiet game. I think he's going to probably be the man who makes way for Perry in a minute. Rogers has given the ball away in their half. That's our centre-back up there, just faffing about a bit. But Humphreys manages to get him out of jail at the second time of asking. And we are going to make that change with Sawinski coming off. Perry can come on. We've got Adrian Knowles, of course, as well. But Perry's been waiting for his opportunity for 3 years. He's a homegrown home player now. It's about time he got some opportunity to get on the pitch. So he'll get first dibs at it. And we haven't got Shane Phillips on the bench. So I don't really feel like I want to make another change. Just Perry for Sawinski at the moment. Now we'll do... I don't want to do 10 minutes of passion when we've scored 4 goals. It loses all meaning if we get passionate when we're already happy. You have to be... For passion to really mean something, you have to go into it miserable. Rogers plays the ball forward to Wearmouth, who plays it over the top to Matondo for his hat-trick maybe. No, he squares it to Harris. It's his second goal. It's now Reading 2, Home 5. Remember that narrative we were talking about before? This is how it was supposed to happen. We've gone away from home and we've scored 5 goals so far. Beautiful from Wearmouth. He's picked up where he left off last year. Matondo looks like the Matondo from the first half of last season again. I think he just played a lot of games last year and got tired as the season went on. But now he looks like an exciting young prospect again. Harrison looks shattered. So can Knowles play there? Not very well, but he's going to have to learn quick because Shane Phillips isn't on the bench. So Knowles makes his debut playing as our defensive midfielder. I was pondering what to do if we get an injury to our attacking midfielder, to Moss. And I think probably we have got the other loanee who can play there, but I think Sawinski probably becomes my backup there. Now Furlong has left the club. I'm also going to take off Ross Wright, who's starting to tire, get some game time into Dylan Connor as well. With 3 goals up, it seems reasonable to take off a centre-back at this point. If it comes and bites me in the backside, then get some ointment or something. Probably be fine. How bad is a bite to the bum, really? There's a lot of meat there. Right, I think that's that. Is that it? I'm literally talking about buttock meat. The game needs to end. We're done with this one. We want to move on to the next one now. No, we're having another goal, are we? No, not that either. Game's still going on. There we go. Reading 2, Holme 5. My word, what an excellent result that was. A nice victory. Well done. Delivered passionately. And now we've got Derby on Wednesday. Oh, they come thick and fast, don't they? And then the transfer window closes. So between now and then, not only do we need to prepare for the Derby game, Matondo was on a goal drought going into that, but not only do we need to prepare for the Derby game, but we also need to keep shopping for players and try and make the most of the transfer window, because we've still got plenty of money left in both budgets. It's not... We've not had a poor transfer window for lack of trying. I don't know if I showed you this at the end of last episode. The issue is there's just nothing out there. We can't afford to buy anybody. There's no point bringing in a winger. So, I mean, he's a cheap winger who looks brilliant. But what's the point? We're not going to use him. Sign him whatever the price. Why? We don't use wingers. We don't have anyone to play on the other wing. So there's no point bringing him in. If you move down to the first one we can actually afford, it's a left-back we're already signing, a striker we don't need, a midfielder we don't need. There's nothing. These are all the players who are interested in coming to sign for me. Ridiculous state of affairs. We're going to keep scouting. No changes for the Reading match, because the one we just did. Why would we change that? There's also been no joy at all in the transfer market either. Neither of the players we were looking at have come in. The left back still might. The striker definitely won't. He's gone somewhere else. So this might be it for transfer business. If we win again now, then I won't worry about it. Go out there and carry on where you were in the last match. You were very good in the last match. If we can have more of the same, please, then I guess we have no reason to sign new players. Although, as I mentioned before, the bench looks good. We've got some quality on the bench. If we get much further beyond the bench, there isn't much in the way of first team quality, and that's what I'd like to bring in a little bit more of. But I guess we've still got £10,000 of wage budget available to us. I thought Matondo was going to score a worldie there. We've still got 10 grand a week of wage budget. We can still bring free transfers in after the transfer window is closed. It's only players transferring from other clubs that the window is really for. So if there are unattached players out there who are going to improve the team, which is probably slim pickings for a top half championship team, for there to be free transfers at this stage that might improve us. But you never know. There might be someone who wanted to be in the Premier League and it gets to November and he hasn't found a Premier League club and he might come to us on low money. So we might be able to bring in a couple of players a little bit later on, but there's still nothing showing up on our scout reports, so we really might be going with this. Right, we've been the better team here. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll be fine. We'll give them 15 minutes. Then we're going to throw some passion in their faces. We have genuinely been the better team, though. We used up all our goals in the last game. That was superb from Gregson. He's a right back. And he plays like both of them. They're such good wingers. It's the nearest we've been to the Lazaroff days since seeing these two at wing back in this system. It's lovely. I love having such attacking wing backs. It makes me. We could probably get away with doing a flat back five and keeping them as part of the five and pushing them on as far as they do, because they'd get so far forward. We're going to show some passion and hopefully find a goal with it. Rogers, to Wearmouth. This is a weird highlight to start with. I think we're going to give the ball away and lose a goal here, unless we're going to score something spectacular where everyone touches the ball. We are knocking it around nicely. We've made it into their half, but that's where we've given it away. And look how far forward Gregson is. But Wright is over to cover. The only problem now is we only have one defender. So this ball over the top, Wright is chasing, can't get there. And yeah, it's fun when we're going forward. It's painful to watch how easy it is to exploit us in that way. Wright is so far out of position because Gregson was so far out of position, and he's trying his hardest to get back. Who's that? Rogers should have been coming across to cover. Not good. Okay, I don't know how good Derby are. I don't know. Were they in this division last year? Were they in the Premier League last year? Derby might be great. Who knows? One win on the opening episode is fine. Sawinski's been poor again. David Sawinski has not started this new season very well. Fernandez also not played. We'll do a double change. Completely change the two of them over. I'm tempted to bring Carl Marsh on as well. But we'll give Anthony Harris another 5 or 10 minutes to see if he played so well in the first game. It seems a bit harsh to take him off just yet. But there you go. He's had 5 minutes. Carl Marsh can now come on and just play in the exact same Anthony Harris role. And let's see if he's still the goal-a-game striker he was the last time he played for us. Like 2.5, 3 seasons ago. Talking of players who used to play for us, Kieran Charters-Thompson was one of the wingers who came in the season after Connor Stanley and could never get past Stanley in the team. It looks like he's had the last laugh because Stanley's a backup player in League One and Charters-Thompson still playing for Derby in the Championship all these years later. And there he is. And I thought he was going to score just to really upset me. That's been a bit of a mixed first episode of the new season. Let's have a little look at him. Oh, so they were in League One last year. I was thinking they might have got relegated from the Premier League. Yikes. That makes that an even worse defeat. Angry, not happy. We need to fix that going forward, and we need to bring in some players to fix it with. But when are we going to come back for the next episode? Firstly, it'll be on Thursday. And secondly, I think we'll do Wigan and Birmingham, because that gives us 6 league games to play. Wigan and Birmingham on Thursday. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.